Greetings everyone, and welcome back to Pep Organ. Today I'd like to talk about my recent recital at Sydney Town Hall. Last week it was called A Night in Disneyland, and it was put on by the City of Sydney. We put on these free organ recitals throughout the year, and I'm the organist there currently. This concert was devised by myself to be a program entirely of Disney music. Now, that also included a few bits that weren't entirely Disney, which I included, such as Waltz of the Flowers, which was technically okay because it came from the movie Fantasia. But with that said, this was a program really meant to be appealing to a wide audience. People love Disney music, and it's been a company that's been around for so long now that it really does appeal to all age groups. So I played music from going back to the original movies all the way to the modern day. So with that said, what happened at this Disney concert? Something quite interesting. We actually had the police called. There was a little bit of a kerfuffle before the concert began, and it was because the concert was so popular. We have a capacity at Town Hall of about 1,800 people, and the doors opened at 6 p.m. for a 7 p.m. start. At 6 p.m. there was a massive line going down George Street, down the main street of Sydney. People had no idea what's going on. It's like, is this a rock concert or something? No, it's just an organ recital. And that's come to be normal actually at these recitals. Since I started playing there and started promoting these more accessible concerts, we've had amazing numbers. The last few concerts, in fact, have been at capacity. But this looked like something even more than that, because at 6 p.m. the line was already going way down the street. Anyway, so the doors opened at 6 and people started piling in, and they came in fast, and there were a lot of people. By 6:30 they were already completely full, which was a shock for people who had come to previous recitals. The fact that they were coming at 6:30, which was already half an hour early, and still couldn't get in, was really a shock to them and quite frustrating, especially for these people who just were so excited for this Disney concert. So, what I'm told happened, I was backstage at this time, but apparently a group of people tried to push their way through the bollard to try and get in, because they were just desperate. And so they kind of pushed some of the ushers around, and wasn't great. So they had to close the doors of the town hall, and then the riot police were called. Nothing serious happened. I'm glad to hear that no one was injured, but the police did have to be called just to break up the crowd and tell them that they were full, the town hall was full, and that they would have to leave. So, in other words, we did reach capacity of 1,800 people, plus there are quite a couple hundred more who came. So I suspect that is some kind of record broken, definitely for the Town Hall series to get that kind of number, but maybe also around Australia. This is a great record to have achieved, and I'm very pleased about it, that we're getting such popularity for organ recitals. I think that when I started this job, I didn't have much confidence in the public that they would care about the organ. But look what's happened, right? Basically, this is a message to all the people listening out there, especially organists. If you just make your recitals accessible, you meet the audience halfway, right? And you present music like Disney music or something else that they know, then they will come. And they did come. Now, how did people find out about this? Because people don't really follow organ news. So I was going to explain what actually happened and how people know about it. They subscribe to the City of Sydney newsletter, and that contains news from all kinds of different things that are happening in the city, different events and cultural events, also some kind of construction works, just general news. People who subscribe to that, there's a little section there that tells you about the organ recitals too. So a lot of people do actually find out about the concerts just through that, which is great, good way to get an audience that isn't all musically inclined. In addition to that, people also find out about these recitals through other means. Of course, these recitals have been running for years, so people know about it just through word of mouth, and also through the fact that they can find it on the website. I did a little bit of promotion myself, but not much. It was mostly done through these other channels. Now, one other way that it was widely promoted was actually through Chinese social media, which was interesting to find out about. On that app called RedNote, if you've heard of RedNote, there are actually a lot of Chinese people who love just sharing events that are happening in the city, especially free ones, because Well, I don't know why they do it, actually. I think they just want to share cultural events that are happening. And so a very large number of my audience were actually Chinese community. And I think that they, more so than other communities, really like to rally around events and come to them, especially events that are indoors, that are something a bit more cultural, like, I'm not saying that people who came to this were purely there to hear the organ, and that would be sort of kidding myself. Of course, they're there to hear the Disney music, but they're also there to have an experience. They might just have had a nice dinner, and they're coming after their dinner. It's just kind of a good night out, and I think that's actually really a great thing. So they probably came for that reason, and then also they came because they wanted to just see the town hall. This building isn't actually open to public most days, so a chance to see the town hall, to see the grand organ, find out what it's all about. I'm sure that's also something great too. And a lot of my audience who come are coming for the first time. They've never been to an organ recital, nor have they been inside the town hall. So those things also contributed, and so there's a large number of the people who came to the concert were actually Chinese. But that said, this is really cool because we've got audiences coming who've never heard the organ before. And as you know, at Pep Organ, one of my big goals is not to just play for organists, but to play for a wide range of different people. And so while those people may not understand what I was doing at the organ, why I had a stop assistant, what he was doing, what kind of sounds we were creating, and what the difference between a Hill clarinet and an American clarinet might be, but that's not the point, right? They're coming to have a great time. And we always have to keep that in perspective, that's what actually we're doing here as musicians. We're entertainers, right? If it's outside of the church context, we're basically entertainers, and we need to provide a good experience. So, some lessons for next time. Well, I don't want the riot police called again to one of my recitals, as interesting as that is. Ideally, we would actually have, if this was to happen again, a big concert with such large numbers. We might consider having a second concert, I would say, or maybe there has to be a small ticket price. I've always liked the concerts being free because it does encourage as many people as possible, and people who may not have money to come, and that makes it really, accessible. But we may also need to find other ways to make the concerts feasible if they're going to be oversubscribed like they were today or last week. In future, my upcoming concerts, if you don't know, by the way, in May, I've got a concert that's Bach, pure Bach concert, and people are looking forward to that too. Some people who actually commented about the Disney concert said that they'd rather hear Bach on the organ, and I respect that, and that's why I'm doing a Bach concert. And then after that, in June, I've got a concert that's purely wedding music, which can mean, again, a mix of different things. It's the classics, which some people have never heard before because, let's be honest, like church weddings aren't as popular as they used to be. And then also modern songs, modern love songs that often get heard at weddings too, but maybe people have never heard them on the organ before. So that's what's coming up. Now I'm just at the town hall now, so I'm just going to show you kind of what actually took place. And I've also got some photos to share, which I'll put on the screen. But basically, this is happening quite often now. The town hall concerts are being so popular. And I just wonder, is there a way we can leverage this kind of popularity and success to other organs in Sydney? The town hall organ's great, right? It's basically a landmark, but there are other great organs too, and there are other great organists, right? I want to advocate for other organists too to have this same kind of audience, and trying to find ways to get people into churches or other venues is hard, but we have to try. We have to try because, the organ lives on in so many places, and if we just promote the one organ, then what happens to the rest? They all deserve some attention. Okay, so you can see now here I'm actually at Sydney Town Hall. There it is behind me, and there was some social media showing how large the line was, but basically this is the front entrance over here, back there, and those are the doors, the wooden doors at the back there that I had to actually close. They had to be closed so that they stopped people getting in, and then the police were basically standing on those top steps up there. Pretty interesting. I'm very glad that no one got hurt. Obviously, I would hate to have learned that someone actually got hurt from this, but I think there was just a bit of pushing and then the crowds were scattered. So I'm glad that despite their enthusiasm, they didn't end up doing anything silly. Well, with that said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe if you want to see some more things from Pep Organ. And of course, if you do want to see that Disney concert, I do feel bad for the people who couldn't get in. So I've got the footage and I just need to polish it up, and then it'll be ready to go and you can have a look at it on the channel as well. I'm very glad that the city has allowed me to share the video footage as well with you guys, so that, yeah, we want people to come in person, and I'm glad to say that we are having these huge numbers of people coming, but we also want more people to come and see it, and more people to experience what the town hall organ is like. So putting that onto my YouTube channel seems like the obvious place to do it. And so the next concert Disney music will be up soon enough, as soon as I've got time. All right, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.